Now, the U.S. Supreme Court today just recently declined to hear an appeal by Texas. Now, Texas has basically been looking to get its voter ID laws back. Now, back in 2011, Republicans, this is right after the elimination of Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. So after the elimination, a lot of these southern states that were formerly under the Voting Rights Act, the Section 5, which basically says, hey, if you're going to set up a new voting system, you're going to change the rules, you got to go check with the federal government to make sure that, and the federal government will come in and they'll make sure that you are not being discriminatory towards minorities, mostly African Americans. So that's what they did in 2011, or I'm sorry, in 2011 they went and put in some new statutes, changed the rules in Texas, and another lower court said, hold on there, dude. What you're doing is discriminatory towards African Americans. And so they were able to put a stop to it. Texas, of course, appealed, and that brings us to today, where Texas just got shut down. Their appeal said, hey, the Supreme Court says we're not going to take this case. But the reasons are not going to be good. So let's talk about that. Now, first, I'm going to read a little bit from the Hill. And basically what it says is that the justices let stand a July 2016 decision by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals that found that the 2011 Texas statute ran afoul of federal law that bars racial discrimination. Okay. And basically said, hey, Texas, fix your face. You need to fix these laws so that you're not discriminating against minorities. Now, before you think, hey, this is great, this is a victory, right? Well, you have Chief Justice John Roberts out here that issued an explanation saying why they did not pick up this case. Now, Roberts said, quote, although there was no barrier in our review, all the legal issues can be raised on appeal at a later time. Basically saying, look, we're not taking up this case, but you can take it up later. There's nothing really stopping us. We just don't feel like taking it up right now. But if you take it up later, I mean, bring it to us. We'll take it. So, look, later on, that's where the problems begin. See, the court right now is split. Four liberal justices, 4 conservative justices. And then you've got the swing justice, right? Is one of those more conservative-leaning justices, more of a swing. I believe that's Stephen Breyer. Now, look, Scalia, obviously, he passed away. He was on the court. Obama was actually supposed to be able to pick his replacement. He picked Merrick Garland, in which the Republicans said, hell no. We're not going to allow you to put somebody on the court, even though it's your constitutional duty. We're not going to confirm. We're not going to do hearings. We're not going to do anything. Now, I was not a huge fan of Merrick Garland. So let's get that straight. I think he was a little bit more corporate friendly. Still, compared to what Donald Trump is going to put on the court to replace him, or to replace Scalia, Merrick Garland is probably going to look like a saint. In fact, Donald Trump has said, hey, we need more Scalias on the court. Well, so now you know who he's going to pick. And now you know why civil rights are in such danger, especially for African Americans, and voting rights. And see, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Trump's going to replace Scalia with somebody who's just the same, if not worse. And this is going to impact voting rights. I mean, Donald Trump and the Republican Party specifically, they're going to come with a butcher knife to any and all voting rights. Which means this case comes back up when Texas tries to resurrect its voting ID laws. Well, there you go. They're going to decide, oh, voter ID, perfectly acceptable, not racist at all. Go ahead and do it. And the liberals on the court, they're not going to do anything about it because they're going to be outnumbered. So this is what we have. And again, this started with the VRA being gutted. And again, places like Texas, they said, finally, we can discriminate against black people, Latinos, and people who generally vote Democrats. Awesome. Let's do it. And a lot of them are getting away with it. But here's the thing about voter ID is you guys probably know this isn't about protecting the integrity of our elections. No, it's all about keeping people away from the polls. about saying these people cannot vote, they cannot be allowed to vote. We're going to make it as difficult as we can for them to get out to the polls. You know why? Because when that happens, Republicans win, conservatives win. And look, recently during the primary, the Democratic primary, the Democrats tried it too. And guess what? The corporate-backed candidate also won. So it's documented. You keep these people out who are generally more liberal, generally more progressive, you're going to get that corporate candidate, you're going to get that Republican candidate. So this is what we have. This is what's going on. And of course, it's based on the godfather of the conservative movement, Paul Weyrich, who famously, and I showed you the video 100 times, Paul Weyrich in the Goo syndrome, saying we don't want more people to vote because, quite candidly, our leverage in the elections goes down as the voting populace goes up. I can almost quote that verbatim at this point. So they want less people to vote. And that's what this decision, that's what this decision doesn't stop. This isn't a ruling saying that is unconstitutional. That's why this is not a victory. This is not a win. This is a reprieve, okay? Because I don't see the same Supreme Court that argued that racism doesn't exist institutionally in America anymore. I remember them making this argument when they voted down Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. And so I don't see this court intervening to stop Texas from reinstating its grossly racist voter ID laws, which have been proven, by the way, by studies and decided by a lower court that they were intentionally discriminatory towards minorities and African Americans. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But look, I'm cynical, and for a damn good reason, I would think. The shape of this country and the direction that it's starting to take, man, I don't see anything good coming from this. I don't see anything good for the next at least 4 years. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.